All right, we are now going to call to order the Planning Commission meeting for October 28th. Mr. Paulson, would you like to call the roll?
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Kane?
Here.
Commissioner Erickson?
Here.
Commissioner Hanson?
Here.
Commissioner Talasfor?
Here.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Here.
Vice Chair Badami?
Here.
Chair Birch.
Here. And would you all please stand up and join Commissioner Kane in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please join me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Kane. Do we have any written communications this evening?
I don't believe we have any desk items tonight.
Do we know? And do we have any requested continuances this evening?
We do. Items 2 through 5 are requesting continuances, and staff is recommending they be continued to December 9th.
Do we have any questions, comments, or is our motion, Commissioner Erickson?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Commissioner Badami. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. In addition to their service on the Planning Commission, members of the commission serve on several town committees. Do we have any reports this evening? Commissioner Talasfor?
The Plan Development Committee met last week, and we are still reviewing other municipalities' plan development, as well as reviewing the ad hoc committee's proposal. And hopefully staff is putting together some language for us to begin looking at additional standards for that proposal.
All right, great. Commissioner Erickson.
Whoops, turn his mic on. So the General Plan Committee met immediately before this meeting with Commissioner Talasfor and Hanson and I are on the General Plan Committee. General Plan Committee considered a proposal from the owner of the so-called Surrey Farms Twin Oaks area for a general plan amendment from the present general plan designation of agricultural to hillside residential. And just as a matter of clarification, there's other aspects in their overall application to the town, a zoning change, an architectural, eventually will be architectural site application and so forth. But the purview of the General Plan Committee is simply making a recommendation to forward to the Planning Commission and ultimately to the council on the general plan designation. So I'm going to let Commissioner Hanson talk about the action that the General Plan Committee, since she made the motion that was adopted.
Okay, no pressure. Thank you. So we considered the matter and heard a lot of testimony from the public as well as the applicant. And at the end of the day, what we decided was to continue the item until the EIR was finalized. This commission heard testimony on the draft EIR at a recent meeting. I think it was about a month ago or 6 weeks ago. And since there was some contention about that, and as well, there was a lot of testimony from the public that concerns about all the impacts being stated. There was that issue, and as well as there's so many moving pieces to the puzzle in that there's also a Williamson Act cancellation that has to be approved by council, not to mention the zone change. So we felt that it would be best to continue it. It's not clear that it'll actually come back to the General Plan Committee because the condition was the EIR has to be certified, and in that process, the Planning Commission and or the Town Council might determine that that's not necessary, and the General Plan Amendment, if approved, could get approved by those bodies.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Kane?
The Historic Preservation Committee met tonight, earlier today. The Historic Preservation Committee concerns itself with houses that are built pre-1941 or reside in one of our 5 historic zones in town. And we had about 7 items to come before us tonight. Most of them dealt with demolitions, and to approve a demolition, we need to make findings that the building is not associated with events that have a significant contribution to the town, that 2, no significant persons are associated with the site, 3, no distinctive characteristics of type, period or method of construction or representation of the work of a master. 4, the structure does not yield information of town history. And 5, that the structural integrity of the building is not in question. And so we had a number of demo requests. One was 304 Charles Street, and we were able to make those findings and approve the request for demolition. This was the second or third time the applicant had come back and had provided additional information that the committee had requested, so the demo was approved. At 68 Fairview, there was a request for demolition with an A&S, architecture and site application attached. We approved the demolition, but continued the matter of the A&S regarding certain historic designs that we wanted to preserve, so the applicant will come back with a revision. On 325 West Main Street, historic architecture and site application wanted to make modifications on a building within a Broadway district, within a historical district. I said there were 5. This one was on the Broadway Historical District, and we continued that matter, requesting further revisions to the application. 233 Harding requested removal from the pre-41 property list that we have. And as Commissioner O'Donnell pointed out, since he was there, that this was likely not a house that was built pre-1941. But if it was, we could make the findings to allow it to be removed from the list. So he covered us pretty well. We also looked at 222 Bella Vista Avenue, requesting a modification of a previous approval. They wanted to do some tinkering with the windows and the door, and they were very nice to come back to us and make sure that was okay, and we said that was okay. On 54 Los Gatos Boulevard, this is the house, interestingly enough, that's right on the corner of Los Gatos Boulevard and the other street, where just before you go down to where the high school is, it's a big blue house up on the corner. It's the house, I remember this from the earthquake in '89. It was that beautiful house, a Jersey Shore, wonderful design, and it had fallen off the foundation. And so when I drove by in '89, they had a giant sign out front that said, "Donations accepted." Remember? Joanne was here. So I gave them $5. And tonight, they requested modification to their wooden porches and railings, and it was continued. They're thinking of using brick and iron railings, and we want to discuss that further. So that matter was continued to our next meeting so as to not delay any activity on the project. Does that about sum it up, Commissioner O'Donnell?
Yes, that does so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Erickson.
I have a question for Commissioner Kane. Did you make a donation toward this application also?
Well, it's a Jersey Shore architecture, which is very special. I told them they could have everything they wanted. No, I did not make a donation.
They're going to ask you now that they heard that. All right. The town of Los Gatos strongly encourages active participation in the public process, which is a cornerstone of democracy and essential to the Planning Commission conducting its business on behalf of the town council and the citizens of the town. There are several ways for members of the public to participate in the deliberations of the Planning Commission. Written communications are always appreciated. You can email staff prior to any meetings. They are included in our packet and are very helpful. And during the meetings, there are 2 opportunities. First is during the verbal communication portion. Anyone who would like to speak out about an item which is not on the agenda can fill out a speaker card. Those are in the seat backs in front of you. And we'll have 3 minutes to address the commission. You may also address the Planning Commission during any agendaized item. Also, you need to fill out the speaker card, and you will have 3 minutes to speak then. I do not have any cards at this time, so I believe we will move past the verbal communication portion and move on to the first item, which is actually item number 6. Oh, I'm so sorry. The consent, yeah, sorry, see, I'm jumping ahead. We do have our consent calendar item, which is approval of the minutes from the meeting from October 14th. Do we have a motion? Commissioner Kane?
So moved.
Second. Commissioner Talusfor, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Now we'll move on to the first item, I apologize, which is technically item number 6. A conditional use permit application U-15-006, requesting approval to operate a formula retail store, Clickaway, at 52 North Santa Cruz Avenue on property zoned C-2, APN number 529-03-035. Are there any disclosures for any commissioners on this item? And have we all had an opportunity to visit the site? Great. Ms. Mosley, I understand you're going to give us your report.
I am, thank you. Good evening. 52 North Santa Cruz is located on the east side of North Santa Cruz Avenue, just north of Elm Street. Motor Cellular took over the tenant space in 2004 and was an authorized Verizon wireless retailer. The town council amended the town code in 2002 to require conditional use permits for formula retailers within the downtown. The town and staff were still dealing with what that really looked like and what uses fell into that category. And so when the applicant came to us in 2004 as a single operator, but an authorized dealer of Verizon merchandise, staff approved the use and the signage that is currently the current Verizon signage. And so the use was established in 2004 and was considered legal. Over the last few years, the town's understanding and enforcement of our formula retail ordinance and definition has changed slightly, specifically in relation to uses like this. And so as such, we would probably consider this use formula retail today in regards to the signage and its connection to Verizon Wireless. And so in 2013, when Motor Cellular connected with Clickaway Wireless to obtain the needed financial backing in order to continue to operate, they started talking with the town when they wanted to get a business license and change the ownership. And so the town started to work with them in regards to going through this process and what that looked like. And so the applicant has been working with staff to complete this process, and they are here tonight to answer any questions you have.
Great. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions of Ms. Mosley? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're now going to open the public portion of the public hearing and give the applicant an opportunity to address the commission. Please go ahead and come on up, introduce yourself, and what I'm going to ask is you do still need to fill out a speaker card for me after you speak and just give it to staff. You'll have 10 minutes. Make sure that you state your name for the record, and then there are lights in front of you. When the yellow light comes on, you have 30 seconds, and when the red light comes on, your time's up.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for all the great work you folks do. I'm a, let's see, what is it, 35-year resident of Los Gatos. My wife and I, Lonnie. My name is Rick Sutherland, and I've known Tim for quite a while. We have a lot of common interest. A lot of sort of outdoor activities we participate in Los Gatos and throughout the Santa Cruz Mountains and so forth. So Tim and I have a lot of common friends, and we've known each other for some time. And I've been in the service business all my life since 1976, and got involved in the Verizon wireless business, and had the opportunity to learn a lot from Tim about the Verizon wireless business, and ultimately sort of came to the understanding that he and I would be a great team with the store that he had or has on North Santa Cruz Avenue. It's become, because of smartphones, iPhones, Android phones, and so forth, it's become a very capital-intensive business. It's very hard to run the business without a lot of inventory, and the inventory is very expensive. I also have a little bit of experience just, in business and so forth. And Tim's the true definition of an entrepreneur, and I guess I really am too. But so anyway, we came to agreement about a year and a half ago that it would be best to work together, and my company Clickaway, joined forces with Tim, and we're hoping to continue to just do what Tim's been doing on North Santa Cruz Avenue since 2002. Tim's a Los Gatos resident, Tim Kennard I'm referring to. He's lived here as long as I've known him, has a wife and a daughter that live here, and this is his livelihood. Jake Farley is one of our dedicated sales associates who's also a Los Gatos resident and has been his whole life, was born here. He's here with us tonight. And Mike Lacey is another Los Gatos resident who's one of our esteemed sales associates. So I think Tim and team and myself, we love Los Gatos, and we've always brought, tremendous value to the consumers of Los Gatos. It's a great service if you want to activate a Verizon phone or you want a little bit of tech support on one. If you're not going to go to North Santa Cruz Avenue, I think the closest corporate stores are at Saratoga and Campbell Avenue, up in that area, in the city of Campbell. The other location for a Verizon corporate store is east of here, out at, what is it called? Oak Ridge Mall, I believe. It's got a new name now, but used to be Oak Ridge. Anyway, we do a good amount of business. It's a very successful store. I think in the last just over a year or so, we've served over 3,500 customers. I know sales tax revenue is an issue for for the town of Los Gatos, and I think we've generated roughly $200,000 in sales tax revenue. So I know the town gets a piece of that, and hopefully that helps the budget and keeps the streets clean and keeps the police department working and paid, and the fire department and so forth. So, bottom line is, I'm not completely sure why I'm here, because all we're trying to do is what we've been doing since 2002, and we just would like to keep doing exactly what we've been doing. We think we bring a lot to the town of Los Gatos and all the people that live here. Personally, I have a lot of friends, and they're not going to be happy if Tim can't continue to serve them with their Verizon phones. And so anyway, I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than we just would really love to keep doing what we've been doing.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions? I have a quick one. Other than what the store has been functioning as, are you going to be bringing in other click-away type services, such as, if you break your screen, you can get them fixed right there, and different things? Will those same services be offered at this store?
So, I think Tim has always done some degree of repair work. Mm-hmm. And, if your screen's broken, we'll either fix it or exchange it for another phone for you. It's pretty much just a common service in the retail store. So I would have to say, to me, it's not really new. It's kind of what's happening in the business. And I think Tim's been doing it for since he's been in business.
Okay.
He certainly has a huge inventory of old phone parts. So if you need a Motorola StarTAC fixed, he probably can take care of that for you.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Telesfor.
Just so I understand, so the store is going to remain as a Verizon store with the same signage and store logo. So ClickAway is just another entity, but inside the business of Verizon?
ClickAway is just another trade name. It's really not a lot different.
So that's why you're here for it, because it's another trade name.
Yeah, it's like Samsung. It's like.
Oh, but you're not owned by Verizon.
We're not owned by Verizon.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No.
All right.
No, we just have an agreement with them.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? I also do not have any public speaker cards on this item. Normally, we'd invite the public to speak, and then you would have an additional 5 minutes to address the commission if there was anything in addition that you wanted to bring to our attention. If you do have anything else, you certainly have the time right now.
I'm not sure what else to say at this point. I think I've kind of told you where we're at, and Mr. Erickson, go Horned Frogs.
Is someone filling out a speaker card for this item? Okay. All right, you can have a seat. I'll have him come up, and then if there is something then that you want to address, we can do that.
Good evening. My name is Lee Fago. I live in Blossom Manor. And just as simply an observer tonight, I was curious, what is the difference between Clickaway? I didn't, as an observer, I could not define or get a definition of what is the difference between Clickaway and the current franchisee at that location. Is it a change in ownership? Is it a change in business tactics? Is it a change in the format, the way it's presented to the commercial population? Not a rhetorical question.
No,
I'll
so,
let you actually.
yeah, so he can come
process.
back up
Yes.
now and have his 5 minutes and address that. You can have a seat if you didn't have anything else. Thank you. All right, did you guys have any questions? Sorry. So now you have the additional 5 minutes to address the commission if you'd like to answer the questions that were brought up by our previous speaker.
So the question is, what's the difference? I don't think there is a difference. Again, there's no tactical changes. We're just going to continue to sell Verizon phones. We're not opening an ice cream shop or an auto dealership. We're just going to keep selling Verizon phones. Our arrangement with Verizon is very solid, so there shouldn't be any change there. It's basically the same. I mean, I'm not sure what else to say.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
I guess I have a question as to whether or not there's been a change of ownership.
Yeah, the assets of the store are owned by Clickaway.
Okay, so we have a new and different owner.
Uh,
I realize it's all the same people, but there was one entity and now there's a new entity, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so-
Lonnie Sutherland and I are, technically the owners.
Well,
Tim
yeah.
is actually a partner in the business, but
I just, that's the answer to the question. I just thought we might as well get it out. There's a different entity, that's all. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right, thank you.
thank you.
Do me a favor, though, please make sure you fill out a speaker card.
I've got one.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to close the public portion of the hearing. Commissioner Kane, did you have any questions, comments, a motion?
Well, let me try a null hypothesis. Does anybody have a reason or concern why we shouldn't approve this application? Hearing no
Personally,
one, I would make a motion to approve the operation of the Formula Retail Store, Clickaway Wireless, on the property zoned C2 APN 529-03035, and I can make the findings provided in Exhibit 2 that the project is categorically exempt pursuant to the adopted guidelines for the implementation of the California Environmental Quality Act, Section 15301, existing facilities. As required by Section 292190 for the Town Code, granting a conditional use permit, that the proposed use of the property is essential, desirable to the public convenience or welfare, in that the wireless retailer is the only provided within the CBD Central Business District and provides necessary convenience to the community. And 2, the proposed use will not impair the integrity and character of the zone, et cetera, et cetera. Number 3, the proposed use would not be detrimental to public health, say, unless they use those wireless while driving. You have a policy against that, right? Because I see a lot of that, drives me crazy. I don't use the thing myself. I'm not qualified. I hit a button, 4 letters come up. 3, the proposed use will not be detrimental to public health, safety, or general welfare, etc. And 4, the proposed use of the property is in harmony with the various elements or objectives of the general plan and the town code. Additionally, I can make the finding that the project is consistent with the redevelopment plan for the Central Los Gatos redevelopment project area, section 4.b, in that the subject property is designated commercial and the proposed use falls under general commercial uses.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Vice Chair Badami?
I'll second the motion.
Great. Any comments or questions before we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Are there any appeal rights on this, Mr.
There are
Wilson?
appeal rights. Anyone who's not satisfied with the decision of the Planning Commission can appeal that decision to the town council. Forms are available in the clerk's office. There's a fee for filing the appeal, and the appeal must be filed within 10 days.
All right, thank you. Do we have a report from the Director of Community Development today?
Just very briefly, a reminder that the town is looking for volunteers from our community to serve on our boards and commission. We also have one more spot available at the Ad Hoc Citizen Committee, which is going to be looking at revenue measures dedicated to capital funds. So we encourage the public to apply for these opportunities. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have any other commission matters? I do want to remind my fellow commissioners that the special meeting last week did get continued to December 2nd, just to make sure everybody has that on your calendars. I know we do have one meeting between now and then, but there's a holiday, so just make sure everybody's got it. Yes. And if that's it, meeting adjourned.